Hey everybody, this is Chelsea Schaefer.
And Caitlin Gustov.
And this is The Score, the official podcast of the sport of team roping. This is the Team Roping Journal's semi-weekly podcast highlighting the team roping industry's top talents and influencers through stories that inspire and connect ropers. We sit down with ropers from the professional ranks as well as industry icons and producers to delve into topics that make the team roping world tick. This is Season 2. It will feature even deeper interviews, storytelling, and issue-based coverage, and we are so excited you're here. This episode is brought to you by Nutrina Feed and their line of Safe Choice products. Stay tuned to learn more about this line of feed in the middle of the episode. 2019 is the year that saw the American, the World Champions Rodeo Alliance, and now the Cheyenne Frontier Days welcome breakaway roping into their folds. But everything that happened this year, the stuff that drew the big headlines and the rodeos that saw young girls win tens of thousands of dollars in mind-blowing fashion, that took decades worth of work, grassroots support, and a few women who stuck their necks out to advocate for themselves and others. A few of those women who haven't been silent about the opportunities that rodeo committees, sponsors, fans, and associations have been missing out on by not including the ladies, a couple of them are Lari Dee and Hope Thompson, and they're today's guests on The Score. Lari Dee and Hope have some 15 WPRA world titles between them, and they've cashed hundreds of thousands of checks at the major team roping and breakaway jackpots across the country. In fact, LD just won the Spicer Gripp Breakaway title, worth $7,700. They're teachers, too, who spend most of their year traveling the country, introducing new students to the sport of breakaway roping and team roping. I hope you guys enjoy this conversation. I want to thank Lari Dee and Hope in advance for this little chat that we did there in Cheyenne. Guys, hi, welcome to the Score podcast. How are you? We are doing this for real now.
Wait, you're asking us how we are.
Yeah.
I'm doing great.
How are you? Well, thank you for doing this with me.
Yep.
It's weird to have our conversation recorded because we're supposed to be natural, but I don't know how natural we can be.
Feels pretty natural.
Good.
Other than the microphone sitting in the middle of the table.
Is it weird?
No, I'm not looking at it.
That's good. Keep looking at your phone. Well, guys, I'm glad. I've been wanting to do a podcast with two other people because usually it's just me and somebody else talking, but I want to just have a conversation with both of you. I think it'll be more fun with the three of us than just one podcast with Hope and one podcast with Lari Dee.
Let's do it.
Well, we usually have these conversations, but we usually have one more in there, so we usually have four because Carrie's usually with us.
Yeah, Carrie's usually with us. She's sad that she's not with us today. Yeah. So for the fans listening, Hope and Lari Dee and I have been friends for a while, and we have a fourth best friend in our crew. So I'm really glad that we're getting to show the world that we are really good friends.
That's right. That's right.
And I don't know. We'll have to censor ourselves some, but not too much, hopefully.
Okay, good.
Good. We not do anything to get us fired or sponsors dropped or anything like that. That would be bad.
Yeah.
Terrible news. So that'll set the tone. But okay, so I know so much about you guys, but I want to know a little bit more. And this is kind of the question that I've starting out with on these shows. Take us into the practice pen that you roped in as a kid. What did that arena look like? What was your dad saying to you? Who was... I said we got to censor ourselves a little bit. What did the arena look like? What kind of cattle were you roping? What kind of horses were you riding? Give me that whole rundown.
Well, when I was a kid, I had a good horse, a little mare. I had her since she was 2 years old, and my granddad would, every day that I would come home, he would have my horse saddled, have the calves pinned, and waiting for me to get down there. And my dad, he's the one that helped my brother and I to learn to rope and taught us all the basics and mechanics and, all that. And, when we were little, it seemed a lot more fun, than when we got a little older. Practices got pretty tough, and I said I guess that's what molded the way or the person that I am, because my practices were there was a lot of screaming and hollering, and you didn't miss, and they were more about catching the calf and doing your part and there wasn't much fun involved. And nowadays I go down there with a purpose, and try to do my job and all that. But I try to at least help us to have fun. I mean, I want us to have fun, because this is something we get to do that we don't have to do. And when you get a gift like that it's something that you need to be, appreciative of and have fun doing, I feel like.
How much did you and Tommy being kind of pitted against each other help you, and how did it hurt you?
Both. I was always compared to my brother, and he was compared to me. If any time that he didn't do good, that girl can out-rope you, and your sister can do this better, and, all that stuff. And, same for me. I mean, I was always, against him, do what he did better, and, all that. And that was something that I felt that drove me, to be good, because, I was compared to someone. And, and now, like, when I get older and kind of study the mental game and do all that, it's just kind of funny that you don't compare yourself to anyone.
Yeah, that's the whole point of mental game right now.
Yeah. And so, I have to, I work on myself a lot to keep my focus on, me and what's important right now, and all of that. So it helped and hurt, I guess.
And Hope, you would have been very different as far as your upbringing.
Yeah, I didn't grow up in a rodeo family at all. No arena or anything. My parents supported it, got me great, like, timed event horses and stuff like that. And then I'd always wanted to rope for whatever reason. They didn't know enough about it to help me. And so they sent me to different people to help me, and I roped in their arenas and stuff. It wasn't until college, actually. I came home before the college finals and needed to practice, and so I split our pasture in half with T-posts and chicken wire. And
did you tap the T-posts?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Cowgirl.
I had some help. I did, and dished it up. It was sand, and...
Good thing it was sandy, because they're probably not very deep.
They're probably all leaning.
Yeah. Come on, you guys. It worked. It's still there today. Not going to tell you when I went to the college finals. So.
Last year.
And so that's how I got into it, just their support and getting me to the right people. Through college, I lived with Jade and Wendy Connor. They had an arena, and actually bought my first really good rope horse from them. And just like I said, just getting around the right people with the right help, and went on from there.
As far as your mental game, though, I feel like that's the polar, like, so I had parents that weren't into rodeo, and they just loved me and were happy and supported me no matter what. And I found my own motivation or my own competitive edge, where Lari Dee came a lot from all kinds of different people influencing her. Where did your competitive edge come from?
I'm competitive at everything that I do. And good question, because I mean, this week out here I'm struggling even, but it's one of those things that just being a competitor and being competitive, honestly, like through college and coming up, and I was only worried about winning. I didn't train horses. I didn't do schools. It was just, I practiced for me. I roped for me, and I felt like the winning was easy. And when winning's easy, the mental game is there, and then living out at Lari Dee's and wanting to train horses and still wanting to be a competitor and stuff, like, that's something I've really had to work on, like, and separate the two. We actually hired Donnie and Taylor to help with us and learn the mental game, because honestly, I don't feel I ever learned it. Like I said, it was just my parents gave me the opportunities, put me with the right people, and so you're just always pumped up and whatever. But trying to separate the two, I mean, the answer to your question is I feel like I've had to learn it, and I'm still working on that.
Yeah, still working on it. Now, when Hope came to you, what year did you become Lari Dee?
2010, I believe.
2010. What did you see in Hope that made you, like, believe in her and want to be a part of her journey?
Well, like what she said, that, how she was raised and all that, like she has a dream and has a dream that she wants to rope, train horses, teach schools, do all that, make a living with the rope as a lady. And, that's a really hard thing to do. And I was blessed. I have a ranch that my family owns, and I was given major opportunities, and then I had to, take advantage of that and do what it is that I do. And when Hope came to me, she had, some things happen in her life that she was a little broken when she kind of came to my house, and so I wanted to give her those opportunities to, chase down her dream. And in saying that, as much as I wanted to help her, she's helped me, as much as anybody, because to do what I do, I mean, you have to have help to teach the schools. You have to have help to train the horses. And if you're going to take in any outside horses, like, I really don't like to do that anymore because it's too hard on my, my body. I'm getting a little older, and, to do all of those things, and then to have someone there that is, that's so competitive and ropes so good that you can, keep your game, up to par because you have someone like that to practice with. I mean, it's helped me as much as, somebody could say that I helped her. But I just, I just wanted to give her that opportunity. I mean, there's been people, that's lived there and stayed there, and, I'm appreciative. I mean, Jackie has stayed there, and, I'm appreciative of what she's done and for me, and same for her. I'm sure she's appreciative of what I've done for her. But it's just, it's always good to have someone there to help and do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think, like, my friend Casey and I, we always talk about being a part of other people's journeys. Like, you guys are so a part of other people's journeys, and in a bigger way than a lot of people get the opportunity to be. And that's just been something that's always inspired me about what you guys do, and not just the schools, but with Whitney and everybody that's lived at your place.
Well, yeah, and it's so cool to read a message that someone will send you that you did for their kid, or something that you did for them that you had no idea that your influence on that person would have done that for for them. And like that makes us feel, I mean, I know it does me, like it's just it's so touching to know that you did that for that person, or
and it's
whatever.
way bigger than the roping side of things. I mean, it's, for some people and for me, life-changing things that you get to experience. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, a woman bought a horse from Tori and I a couple months ago, and she texted me today and said, "Man, I've been thinking about going to one of Hope and Lari Dee's schools." She's like, "There's still some openings at NRS," and I was like, "You should go." Like, I think, she said, "I think it just would change my life," and I was like, "I think it would," and I've heard that from other people too. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. She thinks you, anyway. That it's funny what people think about you when I hear it from people that don't know you. But I think you do such a good job of, like, being who you are at all times. Everybody's perception of you is usually pretty right, I think. I don't know.
What you see is what you get, usually.
Yeah, with most of you. Well, so it's 2013. I'm laying on the bleachers in Reno with one eye open, watching her open, and you said, "Hey, pay attention." And you said, "I want to do something." And I said, what do you mean? I'm tired. And
wonder why.
And I said, "I'm real tired." And I said, and you said, "I want to do something for girls." You said, "I'm getting older, and I want to do something for the girls. I want to leave something." What were you thinking? Think back to 2013, and what were kind of your motives for what became Rope Like a Girl, and what I think I like to attribute to the movement that we're seeing right now with women in roping in all kinds of facets?
I just wanted, the little girls and the women out there to know that really what's happening right now is that, you don't just have to run barrels. That you can rope, and you can make a living with your rope, and you can follow your dream and be able to achieve all of that. It takes a heck of a lot of hard work, and it takes a lot of determination. But it's just something that I wanted girls and women out there to know that the sky's the limit for us. I mean, all we have to do is work hard at something, and we can, achieve it. And I just wanted to leave a legacy, or I don't know the exact words. You're the writer. Come on.
No.
You get this all the time.
Hope, were you just along for the ride, or were you? I mean, did you guys talk about this kind of stuff in the truck a lot, or?
Yeah. So, just for our sport to get where it's gotten is what I feel that we talked a lot about, and I don't think any one person can take credit for that, because just like she said, she wanted the little girls, the ladies who thought they were done roping and all that, they play a huge part in it, because they've gotten back to entering. And I mean, just what she said, just seeing, I mean, we're at Cheyenne right now, getting to rope, the WPRA, the American, all of that. I mean, everybody's played a huge part in that, and I feel that was our goal, or our dream with it, is just for it to just put us on an equal stage, without having to be a barrel racer. And I'm a barrel racing fan. I mean, I think that's great too, but I'm just saying for us that do rope, like, to be able to be out here with the rest of the athletes and get to compete on the same size stages they get to compete on.
Yeah, like you said, we're recording this at Cheyenne, and I looked to Hope when we were watching the team roping, and I said, man, what's cool is, barrel racers, and I'm a barrel racer, so I'm not hating on the barrel racers at all. They have to spend a lot of time back at their events at the very end, and they're spending a lot of time back at the trailers, getting their horses ready. They run, the bull riding happens, and the rodeo's over. I was watching the breakaway ropers walk around the stands with their back numbers on and their patches on their shirt, and little girls looking at them. And I'm going to cry, but I thought it was, like, so cool, because they were actually out amongst the fans, and like, to no fault of barrel racers, the timing of it in the rodeo doesn't allow for it usually. But there were so many girls just walking around, and little kids were getting to see them, and I thought,
well,
man.
I didn't get to. I had to go help a barrel racer down the alley.
That's true.
Speaking of that, though, it's so cool. I mean, sponsors and stuff have us sign autographs because we're out there for the World Series and stuff at Vegas, but when those little girls stand in our lines, they think we're barrel racers, because, I mean, that's the only event showcased for women at the NFR. So we actually got to sign autographs at the Days of 47, and, like, our back number has our event on it. And so, like, it's cool knowing that they're coming to get your autograph as a roper, not as, oh, she's a girl, so she's barrel racing here. So it's pretty cool.
And I think it's cool that, that Breakaway's getting, to where it is. And I just want, the fans and the people out there to know that we as Breakaway ropers want it as an added women's event. We don't want breakaway roping to ever replace any kind of event in rodeo. We want to be, we want to be a part of it, yes, of, professional rodeo, and have two ladies events out there. And, it's cool because that just gives the fans, like, during the barrel race, you could hear, I mean, I was down there helping Cheyenne Wimberly in the alley, and like, when she made her run, I mean, the fans go crazy, and it's those fans love to see the women doing, doing things, and, I feel that that's what Breakaway is going to become. It's just going to become, another event, or I want it to become another event for the ladies, and, give the fans another ladies event to.
And it's great for, like, the more urban markets too. Like, there's nothing very offensive about breakaway roping as far as there's.
No, not at all.
It's pretty palatable for fans that might not be traditional rodeo fans. So
right.
It's pretty exciting. Have you seen it affecting the price of breakaway horses?
Yes, buying and selling. I've done both lately. And
I noticed.
Yeah, I've done both lately, and they're dang sure, it's helped us in being able to sell them, but it's dang sure hurt when you're trying to buy one, because they're getting pretty dang expensive.
Actually, it's hurting on trying to sell them too, because you need them.
Yeah.
Like, usually one breakaway horse for us
is enough,
and it's not now. And so, I mean, you always have your best one, but you could sell your good one or something, and now it's like just want to hold on to them. But it's the price of them is, been impacted a lot.
I want to take a break from this interview to let you know that I'd highly recommend you check out the premium Safe Choice products from our friends at Nutrena Feeds. After all, Safe Choice horse feeds pioneered the controlled starch market to begin with. They're the right choice to keep the horses you love happy and healthy. And their special nutrition technology, Top Line Balance, builds and strengthens their top line. We all know how important a strong top line is for a head and a heel horse that has a lot of hard work to do. So go ahead and visit NutrenaWorld.com and find a dealer near you. How about the amount of time that you guys spend practicing breakaway roping versus team roping? I mean, how are you balancing that now?
Well, since Reno, I haven't even been able to run a steer. We've almost been gone doing, the rodeos and the ropings and all that. And, I'm a big team roper. I train a lot of head horses and all that. And so it's kind of taking a toll on my team roping, but I know it'll all get balanced out, when I get back home, because it's just like Trevor. I mean, he can, he practices, 3 to 5 events, but it'll all balance out. But right now, I mean, it's since the middle of June, I haven't even run a steer.
Wow.
I know.
Do you have your spots for Vegas?
I think I have two right now for Vegas.
Do you have any hope?
One.
Wow. You guys better get to team roping soon. As far as at the grassroots level, have you seen what change maybe over the last decade have you seen in little girls wanting to rope? Have you seen a change?
Man, I get beat all the time. There's a huge change.
Yeah.
I don't know if the days of 47, Jordy,
16 years old.
Jordy Eden, 16 years old, wins the days of 47, 50,000. Madison Uthier wins the 100,000 at, at the American. I mean, yeah, it's changed.
Holy cow.
And, the thing here at Cheyenne, you have to be 18 years old to enter here. So there's not, really those younger kids, but we rope against them. I have a rope like a girl, roping along with the junior calf roping championships, and those little girls will enter our open breakaway, and you're not trying to beat me or Hope or Jackie. I mean, we're trying to beat those 14, 15-year-old kids,
That's and it's
awesome.
not just extra event for the all-around anymore. Like, it's not just like, having a really good barrel horse and entering the breakaway for all-around points when you're younger. Like, there's a future in it. They're working at it, and it's for real.
It's showing.
Yeah.
And I don't know because I've not been around breakaway roping as much as obviously you guys, but not very long. Like, I loved seeing Jimmy Joe enter places, like people that hadn't breakawayed in so long but are so dang handy.
I love seeing Nellie Miller.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she's up in the barrel race that night at Reno and ropes in the jackpot that day. Like, it's just cool.
She would have entered here if she could have got upright, but she couldn't get upright. But yeah, and I mean, Jimmy Joe, we were actually talking about nominating some rodeos for WCRA, and you could see her motor running a little bit. Like, now, how do you do it, and what do you need to do? I mean, like, she's thinking about it.
She's such a gamer. Like, oh yeah, it would be nothing nice if she came out and tried it. Like,
I know.
Yeah, I think that's super cool.
Speaking of Jimmy Joe, we had a conversation in Reno because breakawaying and wanting to rope, and she heels great, so she's got good horses, but she's been breakawaying on her heel horse just kind of get by, and was even asking me like about maybe having to find an actual breakaway horse, because like she's going, like she's entering.
She's gonna do it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What how about budgeting for entry fees? You guys aren't used to, or are some of your team roping entry fees paying all your rodeo entry fees? I feel like that would be the biggest culture shock this year for breakaway ropers, is like, whoa, there's actually all these things to enter now, and I have to come up with $500 for Cheyenne, $500 for the jackpot at Cheyenne. Like, how did you guys talk about that at the beginning of the year? Have you been making do as it's come up?
Well, I feel like for some of us that team rope, we are used to the big
Sure.
fees,
Mm-hmm.
but there's so many girls that breakaway rope that are not used to the big fees, and it really has. I've heard a lot about that, and there's been stuff on Facebook and stuff that all these big ropings and high fees. They're just playing it for the big dogs and all that, and it's really cool. And it's great, and I understand both sides. I mean, I love the high fees because that means you win a lot of money, just like the team roping. But I'm a big team roper.
It's obviously not set up for whoever's calling big dogs, because those kids have kicked our butt at those major ones lately anyway.
yeah.
So, like, it's not set up, I don't think, for anyone. I think I don't know if it's the excitement or, like you said, being a team roper and used to paying the higher fees.
Mm-hmm.
But just knowing the money that's added and the chance of big money that you get to win kind of overshadows the fees to me.
But the thing that I worry about those things is I am big on the high fees, but I want to keep breakaway roping growing, and a lot of people can't afford all the time the high fees.
Yeah.
And so I feel that it's just like the team roping. I mean, go to the World Series, but you also have, the 3 for 30s and, 4 for 60 or whatever. Like, you still got to have those, that happy medium in there where you can go run 3 calves for $150 or $200 instead of 3 calves for $500.
And I think people will figure out too how to budget for it. Like, because this year kind of surprised everybody.
I think
like,
so.
Nobody knew, like, there's lots of girls that are moms out there that are on, family, a mom, a dad, and a kid, and they maybe didn't work, and their husband, they had this amount of money that they would enter the little breakaways or the amateur rodeos, and now they know for next year or 2 years that life's going to change if that's what they want.
If that's what they want, I was going to say that. It's just like the rest of the guys or girls who rodeo for a living, like, I guess they budgeted and they set that up and
in advance,
knowing that that's what you're going to do. That's been the biggest shock for me is, like, I'm gone for 20 days, and that's nothing, but we're usually not way out here away from home for 20 days.
And, like, with Hope, I mean, like, she makes a lot of her living riding horses, giving lessons. Well, when you're gone for 20 days, you're not riding your outside horses, you're not giving your lessons. We're having a school here in Cheyenne, which, helps us with that. But you have to figure out ways that you're going to, make money to be able to afford that. And which she makes a lot of money with the rope. But like she said, she's had a bad couple weeks. And we've got one more big roping on the way home that she's got a, huge chance to win.
But like you said, the opportunity to get to do a school out here, it's part of the job, I guess, but that we're fortunate enough to get to do, and
that's a blessing because like that, Hope's had a bad couple weeks, and she gets to do this school and recoup all of her money, and then still has one more big chance before we even get home. So that's really fortunate. But you have to figure out ways to dang sure budget for it or be able to make money while you're out here if things aren't going in your favor. Because I don't care who you are unless you're Haley Kinsel, that you're going to win every time you go down the alley or dodge.
Every time.
Which is freaking awesome.
I love how she can just go down the alley and win first and then come back and then break her own record.
I loved her interview. I mean, she gives it all to her horse, which was really cool, and that's what she said. The more pressure, it's just like she knows, and she gives it all, and freaking, that's amazing to me. It's amazing to me to watch other, like, team ropers and stuff over there watching, just because it's just like, who does that? I mean,
at Days of 47, it was Hope and McKenna and I, and then there was like 4 team ropers, and we were all screaming and hollering and clapping for her and Louie. And when Louie went, we were all like standing up. We were like, "Come on!"
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right, so we said, hey, Sister and Louie are some of your favorite barrel horses. Who are the Sister and Louie of breakaway horses? Like we've written about Walt and Scooter and Jackal and Caveman and Ice Cube for years and years and years. What are the breakaway horses that, when I sit down and write the greatest breakaway horses of all time, who's on the list?
Well, Hope had one, for sure. His name was 8-Track, and he's really, I don't want to be out of place by saying it, but that's who made Hope Thompson, I felt like, is that horse. She always roped good, and still to this day ropes good, but that horse was a game changer. Mm-hmm. And for everybody, anybody that ever got on him. And I got the privilege to get to ride him a few times, and I mean, they would give me a hard time because every time I entered on 8-Track, people would say, you're going to win something. And I was like, yeah.
8-Track always won something.
8-Track always won something.
He won more Horse of the Years, I think, than any horse I've ever had.
And I feel one of the most underrated horses there is that's never won a Horse of the Year is Jackie's horse. His name's T-Boy, and that horse it doesn't matter where you ride him, doesn't matter who rides him. I mean, last year I think at Reno, me and Kelsey and Jackie tag teamed him at the jackpots and at the rodeo, or at the roping there, mm-hmm. and he fits everybody's style and every situation, and he's one of the most underrated one I feel that's out there. I feel he's a great horse. Mm-hmm. Hope has another great horse, Inc. Little girl Josie Connor just borrowed her at Days of 47. She's been the world's champion calf horse in the AQHA Reserve. And I've rode her. Hope's rode her. Trevor's rode her. Ciara's rode her. She's one of those that fits any mm-hmm. situation.
Gangster.
Yeah, my horse Gangster.
He's battled injuries and stuff. But
he's crippled this summer again.
He's actually doing really good. Okay. I would never ride him at a place like this. He would actually shine here really well because he runs so fast and rates and stops the clock and all that. But he's torn his deep flexor tendon twice, and I would not want to put him through something like this. Yeah. But anytime it's a short score or anything like that, I'm for sure going to ride him. I think there was a few of us that got invited to San Juan Capistrano this year, and
That's exciting.
For sure. Oh man, and I'm for sure gonna send him out there. So that something like that, it'd be great.
Okay, so we've mentioned Trevor a couple times. What do people not know about Trevor Brazile? He's your best friend, one of your best friends. I feel like there's a lot. I learn something new about him every day.
Yeah, me too. All I'm going to tell you about Trevor is you better be on the toes when you're talking to him because he's always thinking and trying to get a step ahead of you.
Yeah, I don't think everybody realizes that. Like, he's just happy-go-lucky, jolly Trevor. Uh-huh. But he asked my opinion about something, and I'm like...
He already knows.
Yeah, he already knows, and he's going to judge me based on what I say, where he knows.
Yeah, you better think about your answer before you give it, that's for sure.
He always gives me a hard time because I never answer the first time he calls.
Then he calls me.
But I tell everybody don't answer because I have to think about what he's probably going to want so I can already have my answers for him when I call him back.
Right.
Or it's a good excuse to screen his call, I guess.
That's a good way to put it. I think that's the best advice about approaching Trevor Brazile that anybody could give.
He's always a step ahead.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you.
Yeah, this was fun.
Was it?
Yeah, I loved it.
Good. Okay. Good. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time today in Cheyenne, and we will talk again soon.
Sounds good.
I want to thank you all for listening, and again, thanks to Nutrena Feeds and their Safe Choice line of products for bringing you this episode. Have a great one, y'all.